Everyone thinks that I have insane fillers.
Okay, so today we're looking at Giudice, obviously known from The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Right.
There's been quite a bit of news recently about her family's finances, her own projects, and she's also addressed some cosmetic surgery rumors.
Yeah, starting with the family finances, there are reports about tax liens against Teresa Giudice and her husband.
How did the rest of the family react? Did Gia talk about that?
She did. She mentioned her sisters, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana, they apparently called her.
To check in, I imagine.
Yeah, basically checking if everything was, under control.
And what was the message back?
According to Gia, Teresa and Luis assured them that everything is being handled. Gia described the family as very responsible and specifically said everything is getting taken care of.
It's got to be tough, though, living that life so publicly.
Oh, absolutely. Gia acknowledged that difficulty, the constant scrutiny they face.
And she tends to be very protective of her family. Right?
Very. She's often stated she'll always defend them.
Okay, so besides dealing with that, what about her own stuff? She's launching things.
Yes, she is. She started a podcast called Casual Chaos. She wants it to be relaxed, conversational, relatable. She's even mentioned potential topics like her parents' divorce.
Right.
And dealing with, a parent being incarcerated. Drawing on her own life experiences, it seems.
Makes sense.
And besides the podcast, there's also a TV show.
Okay, let's shift slightly then. The cosmetic procedure rumors, what she said, there was talk about insane fillers.
She addressed that directly. Gia stated very clearly she has never had any fillers.
Never. Okay.
0 fillers. She did confirm getting Botox, but specified it's only in her forehead.
Right, and wasn't she open about having a nose job a few years back?
Yes, that was back in 2020. She posted about it, shared the surgeon's name, Dr. Jeffrey Tobias.
How old was she then?
She was 19 at the time.
And she shared pictures.
Yep, she shared before and after photos publicly. Said she was very happy with it. Her words were something like, "It just shrunk my nose and made it smaller." She emphasized wanting a very natural look.
So addressing the filler rumors again more recently.
Yeah, she reiterated it on TikTok, actually. Responded to comments saying, again, that she doesn't have fillers. Just setting the record straight. And hey, a quick reminder. If you enjoy staying up to date on all this reality TV news...
Which, let's be honest, who doesn't?
Right. Be sure to subscribe to Realty TV and hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything. Reports coming out of the Summer House crew. Apparently some interesting dynamics with Paige DeSorbo and her past relationship with Craig Conover, and updates on Lindsay Hubbard, maybe her future on the show, and some whispers about the Real Housewives of New York City.
Yeah, the reports suggest Ciara Miller and Amanda Petula have a specific take on Paige and Craig. They apparently felt Paige was deliberately shielding Craig, keeping him out of certain storylines on Summer House. Now that Paige and Craig are done, Ciara has reportedly kind of hinted that, well, maybe more will come out now. And Amanda apparently backed this up, saying, a lot of them were quite protective of Craig.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. So it sounds like there might have been some, self-censorship, or maybe even the group trying to shape the story around Craig.
Yeah, that seems to be the suggestion.
If cast members are actively protecting someone's image, what does that say about the reality part?
Separately, the reports also touch on Lindsay Hubbard. She sounds pretty enthusiastic about maybe filming the next Summer House season.
Okay.
Though she did acknowledge, the logistics are tricky with a young child there on filming weekends.
Sure, that makes sense.
And she also confirmed that, yes, there are talks happening about her possibly joining the Real Housewives of New York City.
Ah, the RHONY rumors.
Yeah, although she said she's not, directly in those talks herself right now.
Still, Lindsay possibly joining RHONY.
That's pretty interesting. Especially after being on Summer House for so long. That could really shake things up in the Bravo world.
It really could. It suggests, maybe a whole new chapter for her reality TV career.
Yeah.
The reports do note Andy Cohen has openly talked about pitching Lindsay for RHONY.
So there's network interest too, potentially?
Seems like it, yeah. Okay. Next update we have about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills involves the reunion. Reports are focusing on Dolores Catania's take, specifically on how Kyle Richards interacted with Andy Cohen and also with Paul P.K. Kemsley.
Right. So reports detail Dolores Catania talking about this on her podcast. She apparently felt Andy Cohen seemed noticeably, offended and pissed off. because Kyle seemed, I guess, reluctant to fully talk about her relationship with Morgan Wade on the show.
Despite them being so public elsewhere.
Exactly, like appearing together all the time, the music video. Dolores seemed to think Andy felt Kyle was kind of using the off-camera buzz without fully bringing it onto the show.
Because they'd been seen together a lot publicly, like in the music video and stuff.
Exactly, that seems to be the point. And Dolores also reacted to PK, Paul Kemsley, revealing that Kyle had been talking to him after his separation from his wife, Dorit.
Wait, I thought Kyle said they just exchanged memes.
That's what seemed to contradict things. The reports didn't give any timeline, though, for when RHOBH Season 15 might start filming.
Okay. Then, reports indicate some emotional stuff from Lala Kent on the Valley. It's about Brittany Cartwright's past romance with Julian Sensley.
Yeah, and why that ended. So these reports highlight Lala getting quite emotional when she learned about Brittany's past relationship with this guy, Julian Sensley, on the Valley.
Right.
Lala apparently called Julian a love bomber, and she admitted that hearing about Brittany and him brought up her own past trauma, you know, from her breakup with Randall Emmett. And it made her feel a bit, left out, apparently, that Brittany hadn't told her about it sooner. The reports do say Brittany did eventually talk to Lala about it, explain that Julian initially made her feel, quote, beautiful and worth something. This was when she was feeling pretty low after separating from Jax Taylor.
Right. Understandable.
But Brittany revealed the relationship ended because Julian, quote, lied to me about so much.
Oh, no. Like what?
Well, apparently hiding that he was still living with his baby mama and also that he was involved with other people Brittany knew.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty major betrayal of trust. Okay, following that, we've got reports featuring Lisa Vanderpump. Talking about the Vanderpump Rules reboot. Her relationships now with some of the original cast and her thoughts on maybe returning to The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Plus an update on how she feels about James Kennedy.
So regarding the Vanderpump Rules reboot, she reportedly felt the show was becoming a sinking ship.
Ouch.
And decided to go for a complete recast for season 12, said she preferred to, quote, quit when we're on top.
Very LVP.
Very. She also apparently mentioned firing Kristen Doubt from SUR as a, memorable moment she looks back on fondly. The reports also note, while she isn't close with Jax Taylor right now, she hopes he stays sober.
Okay.
She did confirm she knew Stassi and others sometimes snuck drinks at SUR back in the day.
No surprise there, really.
Not really. As for her current ties with the original cast, she apparently talks to Tom Schwartz quite often.
Okay.
And has occasional contact with Lala Kent, says she's fond of them both, but, and this is a big shift, she stated she no longer supports James Kennedy.
Really? After all this time?
Yeah. Citing his, quote, repeated mistakes. And she referenced his reported domestic violence arrest from December 2024, which was allegedly tied to a relapse.
Wow. Okay, that is a notable change, considering how long she's sort of championed him.
The reports also touched on her RHOBH time. She talked about a point when she nearly left the show before and how tough filming got after her brother passed away.
Yeah, that was a hard time.
Definitely. And while going back to RHOBH is reportedly a firm no right now,
Right.
she did say she might consider it if it were with, quote, a group of different women I really liked. She also apparently said she felt bad about Kyle and Dorit's separations and indicated the door's always open to Paul PK Kemsley. She reportedly offered prayers and positive thoughts for Teddi Mellencamp, too, after her cancer diagnosis.
Okay.
And finally, she teased season 2 of Vanderpump Villa as being richer, funnier, sexier.
Always promoting.
Okay.
Next update we have about Jax Taylor from the Valley. This includes a rumored new girlfriend and reports he's worried about his behavior in the upcoming season.
Yeah, so the reports suggest Jax Taylor is reportedly dating an esthetician, Jessica Pekson.
Okay.
Although a source apparently says it's not exclusive. But maybe more interestingly, the reports claim Jax is terrified.
Terrified about what?
About viewers seeing how he acts in the next season of The Valley. One insider apparently described his behavior as potentially unforgivable and horrifying.
Whoa. Horrifying. Worse than before.
Possibly even worse than anything he's done previously, according to this insider report.
Okay, so it sounds like Jax is bracing for some serious backlash then. Reports mention him trying to get his Vanderpump and Valley co-stars to, publicly support him.
Yes, exactly. And the reports suggest the cast is kind of divided on that.
How so?
Well, the women are apparently mostly supporting Brittany. And Brittany herself has said that, quote, things are a lot worse than people think. She hinted at possibly controlling behavior from Jax and suggested viewers will be surprised by just how much she went through.
Okay, it sounds like that season will be intense. Afterward, we need to examine reports of a clash between the Real Housewives of Atlanta stars Brit, Eady, and Angela Oakley about Brit's insurance license.
That's right. This dispute between Brit, Eady, and Angela Oakley reportedly kicked off after Shamia Morton mentioned on the show that Brit's insurance license was under investigation.
Right, because Kenya Moore had revealed some old photos of Brit.
Exactly. So then Angela, who's a licensed mortgage loan officer, publicly questioned how a professional license could be investigated without, quote, just cause.
It sounds like maybe there's a bit of confusion there about how different licenses and regulations work.
That's what the report suggests, yeah. Brit reportedly clarified on Instagram that her license is currently under investigation, not revoked.
Okay, important distinction.
Right. And she pointed out that the rules for insurance agents might be different than for mortgage loan officers.
Makes sense. Different fields, different rules.
She ended her post with #classdismissed.
Ooh, okay.
So then Angela apparently responded on Instagram, basically doubling down, reiterating her belief that just cause is needed for any state license investigation in Georgia, including insurance.
And she questioned what the cause was.
Yeah, asked what is the cause. Angela also apparently addressed a claim about her age, clarifying she's 43, not 60.
Got it. Okay, moving on. Finally, reports suggest Sami Sheen, Denise Richards' daughter, has been talking about her OnlyFans account and also her relationship with her dad, Charlie Sheen. Plus, a controversy with selling Sunset's Chrishell Stause and Brit over social media.
So the reports cover Sami Sheen's recent chat on Giudice's podcast.
Okay.
She apparently opened up about her relationship with her dad, Charlie Sheen, which sounds strained. Said she had to block him because he was sending her crazy stuff after she had no surgery.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She also talked about her OnlyFans work, shared some of the weirder requests she gets, like dipping her foot in a toilet, which she apparently was surprisingly open to considering. But she did clarify, she doesn't do sex tapes or full nudity, wants to keep it classy.
Right.
She explained she started the OnlyFans account basically to afford her own apartment, and she's actually found it pretty positive and rewarding.
Okay. It sounds like Sami's kind of finding her own way, navigating independence, in a very modern context. And that relationship with her dad is clearly still complicated.
Very much so. And then the reports also detail this selling sunset controversy between Chrishell Stause and Brit.
Right. What happened there?
It reportedly started when Brit shared a social media post promoting Mag-J bracelets.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And Chrishell, whose partner G-Flip is non-binary, reacted pretty strongly. She suggested Brit had used transphobic slurs in the past and referenced a discrimination lawsuit that was reportedly filed against Brit by former employees, alleging harassment based on sex, gender, or sexual orientation.
Okay, those are really serious allegations Chrishell is bringing forward. The reports mention Chrishell saying those alleged slurs wouldn't be something that would air on their show.
Yes, Chrishell reportedly said Brit's post kind of triggered her because of these deeper issues. Now, Brit has reportedly apologized for the Mag-J bracelets post since then.
Okay.
Claimed it was a misunderstanding, said she's far from Mag-J, explained the bracelet was a gift and her social media team messed up tagging the brand, didn't know its politics.
And Chrishell's reaction to the apology?
Well, she seemed unconvinced based on the reports. She also reportedly shared a definition of the term transvestite, kind of implying it was relevant somehow.
Okay, lots to unpack there, too. And hey, a quick reminder. If you enjoy staying up to date on all this reality TV news...
Which, let's be honest, who doesn't?
Right. Be sure to subscribe to Realty TV and hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything.
Always something new to talk about.
Thank you. Until next video tomorrow.